Truckers and trucks, big 18-wheelers. These things, obviously, we rely on them to keep us supplied, to keep us furnished, to keep us with, we need stuff. And these guys deliver a huge chunk of it. I'm hearing the supply chain crisis. So much of it is because these guys have way too much red tape to deal with. And the Biden administration has been of very little help. Maybe they've hurt the situation. I'd like to bring in Mike Collins. He's a Republican from Georgia. He's a congressional candidate. But right now, more importantly for us, if you don't mind, we'll talk about your congressional race, sir. You are the president of Collins Trucking Company, Incorporated. It goes all the way back to 1962, and you're the third-generation owner. Mr. Collins, welcome to Newsmax. How are you?
Well, I'm doing fine. Thank you for having me, and Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas indeed. So, look, you're an expert, and I keep hearing that murmurings from truckers, you guys are being not treated right by the federal government. What's happening?
Well, I'm going to tell you, I think that's just one reason that we're so high up in the polls. We're 16 points above our nearest competitor, and it's because people are clamoring for someone that's not a career politician. They're looking for outside business people. And you take our business, for instance. We're in the most regulated industry that there is in the country. And we have been fighting overreach from the federal government for decades. And I think that things like what's happening now are finally bringing those to a head.
All right. Well, look, Joe Biden outlined a plan today. We're talking about something he's doing. I'd like to get your reaction regarding your industry, the trucking industry.
We've heard a lot about the need for more truck drivers, and it's real. And we've gotten to work to address that. These apprenticeships are going to help new drivers get trained better and faster and help companies retain drivers in a field that has a lot of turnover. So I'm eager to hear about the new partnerships with trucking companies and states to get more truckers on the road and into good-paying jobs.
All right, number one, is any of that going to help? And what I've heard, another issue is the trucks in California specifically, they want them to be less than 10 years old, and that's caused a whole heck of a lot of problems. But please tell me again, from the trucking perspective, what's happening here?
From a trucking perspective, Biden and them don't really understand what's going on in our industry. If they would have taken and reduced the driving age back down to 18 instead of 21, that would have been a huge help. But what that administration wants to do now is pump out drivers, I think, within a 7-week plan. The problem is that 98% of the trucking companies out there are 20 trucks or less, and they can't hire people right out of school. You got to have 2 years more of experience over the road before they can even hire them. But when you have an industry where truck driving school was shut down for over a year during this pandemic, anybody knows that there's going to be a huge lapse of new people coming into our industry. Not to just mention the fact that they have to wait till they're 21 before they can enter into the trucking career.
Oh, I'm so surprised that Joe Biden doesn't know what he's doing. After all, he had a lot of time behind the wheel. Listen to this, Mike.
And anyway,
and if we
I
don't
used to drive an 18-wheeler, man.
Yeah.
Oh, I wish
yeah. That's
I
awesome.
got to.
I used to drive an 18-wheeler. Now, he said this a couple of times, makes it sound like he was a long hauler, like your guys there. He went on one trip. It was like a fact-finding mission, and he was already a senator, and it was about 45 years ago. But he says, you see how politicians do that? Anyway, did you know about that?
I heard that, but I can tell you one thing. I know one person in his administration that did understand trucking, and that was Donald Trump and the Trump administration. They did more to help our industry through some of the relaxation on regulations than we've ever seen that we've had in the past, and we need more of that. A lot of the regulations that are put out there by these bureaucrats, they have never been in our industry, just like President Joe Biden has never been in our industry. He doesn't know anything about trucking, nor does Mayor Pete. With this identity politics that they played just to put him in his position, they really don't have an answer or the right answer to fix this problem long term, or even short term to fix this problem.
You mentioned Donald Trump, and, he also He understood it. He had an affinity for it. Now, people made fun of him when he did this. I thought it was great. He jumps in the truck. He grabs the wheel. You know, he's having fun. He's not above it. And that's one of the things that journalists could never really understand. But the people could. I mean, that's what I would do on a truck.
They could. And as you can see in that clip, President Trump knows his way around a truck. First thing he did was grab the air horn and blew the horn. So he's obviously been in a truck before. But I can probably assure you that Biden probably never been in that side of the truck anyway.
All right. So look, your campaign, you're in the 10th Congressional District. I have a good feeling about your campaign and candidacy. I mean, Mike Collins, it even sounds like a congressman.
You know, Greg, and that's what I mentioned in the beginning. I just think people want bold, America First agenda candidates that are willing to put their business to the side. Good pro-Trump people that understand that Donald Trump knew that we need business people in Congress and not career politicians. And that's I'm dead positive that's why people are just jumping behind our campaign and helping us with running this race. And we do. We look forward to serving you in Congress.
All right. Well, good luck. Stay in touch. Mike Collins, Republican candidate for Congress out of the 10th District in Georgia. Thank you. Be safe.
Thank you.
Be safe. Your best wishes to your drivers. We'll be right back.